Okay, so this is Mr. Jones. Now, I'm going to start explaining things that I have not explained before while I deal with new clients and customers who are interested in magic and propaganda. You can keep emailing me, and I'm dealing with individuals about that. So, here's some interesting information people may not have known. A lot of you know that I deal with the occult. I was initiated into the occult at a very young age, and I'm proficient in just about every aspect of the occult on a certain level, and I have the ability to walk through doors and gain more extensive knowledge in any area of the occult in the world that I want. And let me explain what the word occult means. People who don't know what the word occult means, it means hidden. So the hidden wisdom and knowledge that is not accessible to the general public is extremely accessible to me. I've also made it very clear to people that I'm not religious in the way that people are. I don't believe in any of the bullshit religions that people believe in. However, I encourage you to indulge yourself in Christianity and all those other religions. Have fun with that. Now, I deal with magic, period, meaning I do not, and I do not have to, distinguish between white magic or black magic. And I also caution people and warn people who try to disrespect me. Recently, there was someone who made contact with me on Instagram, and she was talking about the bullshit. She was disrespectful to me about the bullshit rumors and allegations, and she told me that she knew my story. I became enraged, incredibly enraged, because how can someone who does not know me come speak to me and tell me that they know my story? No one knows my story. There's not a person, human being on the planet who knows a damn thing about me, really. And anything that I tell you is impressive, so that's all you better know. People who spread rumors, articles, especially from Toledo. Toledo should have no validity at all. It is a racist, biased, stupid place full of individuals with extremely low IQs. Ann Arbor is different. They're not nearly as intelligent as you would think, but it's a far superior place to Toledo. Seattle was an interesting place. It's kind of like Ann Arbor, just with funkier weather and juiced up people in a way when it comes to, if you want to compare them to Ann Arbor. It's a expanded version of that place in some ways, but not really. However, let me get back to what I'm saying. I didn't like her trying to put something on me. I understand magic, and this is what I'm saying. A lot of people deal with the occult and use the occult and use mind control abusively, and usually they're not really aware of it, at least not consciously. People who try to delude other people in ways they shouldn't be doing, trying to play mind games. If you know someone's fly, let's say you're a hater, and you know someone is what they are, and you're hating on them. You're trying to use psychological attacks and forms of magic that you actually do not have a right to use. And she was doing that. And a lot of people try to do that, but what they do not understand is that some people are very serious. I am one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. For real, for real. And I know this. This has been confirmed not only by my living, but by spirit creatures. When I was young, spirit creatures forced themselves on me. Non-physical entities, with some would call them angels, spirits, or demons. And why I use all three of those, I'm not going to be specific because that's none of your business, but I will say non-physical entities because perhaps they're all the same thing, maybe not. they contacted me when I was younger over and over again from a very young age, and they kept checking on me. And as I got older, I realized they were around me a lot, and they straight out explained to me why they were around me. And this is what a lot of people do not know. The word occult means hidden for a reason. The spirit creatures or non-physical creatures are the beings that are in charge, perhaps partly, in the occult. When you want to talk about mind control and a lot of these things, they have a lot to do with this. They understand it, they employ it, and they teach people who are physical creatures, supposed humans, how to use it. You hear stories about the supposed Illuminati and how the music and entertainment industry is controlled by spirit creatures. People talk about selling your soul to the devil and all of this. Let me explain something to you. The world is too full of haters to have special people not being protected. If you do research, you might hear that most famous people in Hollywood have some kind of magic protecting them. They've gone to some kind of magical practitioner to cast spells to make sure they have protection. You don't really know what a person's future is, and you don't really know what a person's doing behind closed doors. So I'm going to let you guys in on some truth that hopefully will shut you the fuck up. Now, when I said that throughout my life, thousands of people have lost their life trying to mess with me, you have to understand the butterfly effect and ripples. There are different spells to keep people in place to stop them from doing something. If you have protection spells over you, people who have bad intentions will do a lot of fucked up shit and end up fucking themselves over because they won't stop. The more they go after a person, the more weird things happen. And if they take it to a certain level, they might end up getting killed. I've had a lot of protection on my life, my whole life. Also, this person who contacted me on Instagram pissed me off and disrespected me. I spoke to spirits, and she broke her leg the same day and ended up in the hospital. Now, this is normal. This isn't a big deal. This is what happens to people who fuck with somebody who's special and who has what some would call a destiny. I'm not even saying I believe in destiny, but I understand power to a certain extent. Now I'm going to talk real quickly about Bruce Lee. When I was younger, around the age of 13, spirits were very forceful in their dealings with me, and they explained that they would tell me things when I was older about Bruce Lee because of who I was and who I am destined to become. At the age of 13, I became extremely dangerous. I had been training from a young age, and by the age of 13, I had physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally surpassed Bruce Lee. When that happened, spirits came around me and they told me that they were going to hide my development in different ways and wanted me to do things to throw people off so they wouldn't know what I could do because of my charisma. My charisma would cause the things I do to be more noticeable and more attractive to people, more so than Bruce Lee. They explained to me why Bruce Lee died early and who he really was. So I'm going to tell you something. Bruce Lee was a better fighter than probably anyone watching the video and could beat the shit out of people. But he made some mistakes that people don't know about. He wasn't as authentic as you think, and he made some mistakes, like I said. He used the law of attraction. People need to stop using the law of attraction, and the spirits think it's a safer idea if people stop doing it, because this is what happened. He used the law of attraction to say certain things were going to happen, how he would be known and considered. And because of this, he had to achieve these things, and he had to be seen this way. Okay, so this is what's going on with Bruce Lee. When he employed the law of attraction, he put himself in a weird position. And this is what a lot of people do not understand. The whole white supremacist, racist society is very dangerous because people think it's dangerous to people of color, but people like me who have color in my skin are actually extremely viable and powerful people, and we don't actually have to worry about things, because once you break through certain barriers, and most of you won't, and you're not going to be able to, but some people are so special that they're going to have ability the rest of their life to do what they want, because of passing certain barriers. This is what I'm saying. Bruce Lee employed the law of attraction, and he was to be seen as the best in the world. The problem with that is he was extremely talented and a very awesome fighter, but he actually wasn't the best. But because he employed the law of attraction, weird things happened. So when he was around fighters who were better than him, and what the spirits told me were there were more than one martial artist of African descent who would beat the shit out of him. Spiritual energy would kick in when he was around these supposed African Americans, not supposed African Americans, and he would be able to do things that were unnatural. The problem with that was these African Americans who had so much ability were being disrespected spiritually because of what Bruce Lee was employing. So Bruce Lee couldn't be around that long because he didn't have the spiritual right. He was a physical fighter. He relied on his physical ability. He didn't even respect spirits. In his family, he was fighting demons. He was fighting them off. He wanted nothing to do with the spiritual world, with spirit creatures, with demons. He wanted to just be purely physical, and he didn't believe in the afterlife or anything like that. He just believed in being a person. If you do research, he wasn't religious on any level. And he may have believed in the afterlife. The spirits haven't made that incredibly certain, but he definitely didn't really believe in spirituality, and he definitely believed in being a physical person. So he used a lot of tricks to make himself seem a certain way, and the things that he did were not necessarily tricks. That he was just backed up by spiritual energy because of employing the law of attraction. So he really couldn't beat everybody. There were a lot of people of African descent and other nationalities who could beat the shit out of him. At that time, the best fighter in the world was of African descent. And that's what people don't know. There's abilities that people of African descent have that literally just make them the best fighters in the world and potentially better at anything. But white supremacy has inverted things, and that's one of the reasons people don't want to talk about. People of African descent are attacked out of subconscious envy, and spirit creatures know it. The problem is most people of African descent are cowardly, and taught to be cowardly. One of the reasons I have so much spiritual protection is because I ain't no coward. I'll beat the shit out of anybody. I will keep doing whatever I want. And because of that, I have what some people would call unnatural protection. the spirits did some weird things to my life to make it seem like I have a lot of problems, to keep me occulted for a while, so people wouldn't realize what I could do. And I've been developing Dragon Chi and learning all different kinds of skills and surpassing Bruce Lee and other fighters in a lot of different ways to hide my raw physical and spiritual abilities. They told me it was better for me to build a relationship with spirit creatures, to protect myself, because my potential is virtually endless, and a lot of individuals, especially Bruce Lee, just wanted to do it on their own and didn't understand how the world really works. He had to die early to keep the myth going, because he could not actually do it in real life, because at a certain point his spiritual energy would end, because there was no way that he could keep unnaturally beating these superior fighters of African descent. There may have been a certain African American that people know about with an afro who used to be in one of his movies, who probably, the spirits were saying, most definitely would have beat the shit out of Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee knew it. But he agreed to stay docile to have a career. And he fucked himself over, and the spirits know it. So what I'm saying is, people should really rethink what they think they know. And that's all I'll say for right now.